Castellanos, the junior out of Mason City, Iowa, getting set to kick things off. We know this much about Michigan State so far this year. Turnovers have been a problem. For more on that, we go down to the field. We bring in Bruce Feldman.
Aaron, Michigan State's lost 6 fumbles in 3 games, the worst ratio in the country. Running back L.J. Scott has been stripped 3 times, including twice at the goal line. Scott's a gifted back, but he now has 8 fumbles in his career. Spartan offensive coordinator Dave Warner told me it's getting to the point where you have to address it, but you don't want to overdo it. He did tell us Scott had to carry a football around the offices all week, and they had plenty of reminders, including a football attached to a coil with a big sign that reads, "Ball security is job security, yours and ours."
And now Gerald Holmes starting things in the backfield. As Brian Lewerke goes to the air, and right away, it's Felton Davis for a big gain and a first down.
Michigan State wants to establish the run game early, but what do? They utilize the play-action pass to help suck up the Iowa linebackers. A little bit overly aggressive, allows for a big window in the middle of the field to Davis.
Davis very consistent so far this year. 4 catches, all 3 games. Holmes gets his first carry. As we take a look at Brian Lewerke, Brady, a dual-threat quarterback, leading the Spartans in rushing.
Yeah, he's leading the Big Ten in rushing yards for quarterbacks. And I think what makes him so effective is his ability to make men miss, not only in the pocket, but when he keeps the football and runs downfield, he's very elusive. So look for him in some of the zone read schemes today to keep the football, and even when he drops back, to scramble at times to pick up first downs.
Again, looking for Davis, his second grab.
One change of note for the Michigan State offensive line is number 59, David Beadle, is out today due to injury. You'll see number 75, Kevin Jarvis. He's a true freshman, getting his first start today, the 6'4", 315-pound true freshman at Park Ridge, Illinois. He's got to have a tough task today going up against a very good Iowa defensive front.
Well, this is one of the youngest teams in the nation, and it continues to be on display on the offensive line today for Michigan State. It remains Jared Holmes in the backfield. Lewerke rolls out. And the catch made for first down as he connects that time with his favorite target, Darrell Stewart.
In particular on 3rd down, he's also Lewerke's favorite target. And that last play, essentially a simple sprint out, allowing Lewerke to get outside the pocket, but they essentially ran a little rub route. A couple of Michigan State wide receivers running downfield created a natural pick for Stewart.
Lewerke completing on each of his first 3 passes. Entry today, pacing the Big Ten in total offense, making just his 6th career start. Sokol, the tight end, moving in motion. On play action. 3rd time, a strike completed once again to Felton Davis. Michael Ujiemudia on the tackle.
Ujiemudia starting today in replace of number 5, Manny Rugamba. Rugamba struggled a little bit last week versus Penn State. Ujiemudia gets the start, clearly picking on him and testing him early, and that's in part because he's opposite of number 15, Josh Jackson, who's a very, very good corner.
Well, that completion good for 8, brings up 2nd and short. The give to Holmes. He gets it up for the first down. Jared Holmes, the 5th-year senior, 1,000-yard career back. Mentioned the fumbling problems of L.J. Scott. We're yet to see him so far today.
Just walked in today, and you're going to see a 2-back set with both L.J. Scott and Gerald Holmes. And typically when they use both these running backs, they like to try to target one of them out of the backfield. So wouldn't be surprised if there's not sort of some play-action fake and targeting one of those running backs.
There is a play action to Davis. Waltzes in for the touchdown. His 4th catch on this opening drive. Davis, 4 catches, 67 yards, and the score to open things up for the Spartans.
It's kind of how the Michigan State offense has been, at least at the wide receiver position. A very inexperienced group coming into the season, but it's been Felton Davis, it's been Darryl Stewart. Week to week, they try to feed the hot hand.
Matt Coughlin puts it through. 7-0 Michigan State, an impressive opening drive.
Let's take a look at the touchdown. We talked about the 2 running backs in the backfield. Watch as Felton Davis is going to work his way all the way across the field. A lot of the focus when you freeze right here. Look at the safety. Look at the secondary. Everyone biting up on L.J. Scott. And meanwhile, you see Lewerke. He does a good job with his eyes, keeping them downfield, finding Davis for the touchdown. That's what happens when you put 2 very capable running backs in the backfield like that. And really their tendency was to target, L.J. Scott out of the backfield catching the football. Little wrinkle there from Michigan State early on.
Almost all through the air. It's a 75-play drive. Lewerke 5 for 5, 70 yards through the air to open things up for Michigan State.
Talk about a bounce-back performance, bounce-back game. That's how you get confidence after a tough loss at home versus Notre Dame last week. That's exactly how you want your team to come out and start this game.
Scanlon getting ready to kick things away. Kenny Martin. Pass to 20, to the 30. Tripped up after a nice return past the 35. You talk about this Iowa offense, you have got to talk about Akram Wadley.
Well, what makes him so special is his ability to make defenders miss in space. Watch this spin move. Oh, my goodness. And then it's his ability to catch the football out of the backfield, in particular on 3rd down. You get the easy completions, and then he just makes people miss in the open field, and he's got the explosion and the top end speed to take it all the way to the house. If not for Saquon Barkley and how good he's been this season, everyone would be talking about the running back for Iowa.
Wadley's second in the Big Ten, 6th in the nation in all-purpose yards. He's a lone back behind Nate Stanley. Stanley, the sophomore from Wisconsin, puts it in the air and overthrows his intended target. Looking for Nick Easley. What do you like when you've seen Stanley so far on tape?
I think the big thing for a first-year starter, he's a good decision maker. 12 touchdowns, only 1 interception so far this year. Hasn't thrown an interception since the first quarter of the first game. And as a field general, they run a kind of complicated system. They get him in the right play all the time with their check with me system. He does a good job in his decision making as far as which play they run.
No quarterback in Iowa history has thrown for more touchdown passes over the first 4 starts than Stanley. Bootleg's out. Finds Hawkinson as tight end, enough for the first down. Primarily a blocking tight end, just the 6th catch this year for Hawkinson.
When you look at the size of the Iowa tight ends, that's going to be one of the mismatches that they see. Hawkinson stands at 6'5", 245. Noah Fant, number 87. We'll see him as well. He's more of the athletic type where he can really stretch the field, but both of those guys, big targets for the quarterback, Nate Stanley.
Fant has been especially valuable on 3rd down. Here, 1st and 10. On the ground for the first time, Wadley bottled up. It was a frustrating first half for Wadley last week against Penn State. He was able to get almost nothing going. Look at his first half. 0 net yards.
But really the first half for the Iowa offense. I mean, you look at their first few drives until the touchdown pass from Nate Stanley deep in the 2nd quarter. They had about 23 yards of total offense when you add it up.
Two receivers stacked each side. And it's knocked down. It was Andrew Dowell, one of the Spartans' top tacklers, the linebacker, in on it. Incomplete pass. Let's
take another look, and we're going to see number 5 at the right of your screen, as he comes across the line of scrimmage, wisely gets a hand up in the passing lane. The biggest question of whether or not that was lateral. It looked like it may have had a chance to be, however, it's not going to be reviewed. Bringing up a big third down, and all of a sudden you're looking at this package that Michigan State has on defense, the Delta package. A bunch of speed rushers, a lot of speed, trying to bring pressure on the Iowa offense.
Vandenberg, an easy split off to the right. Pressure, taken down. Joe Bocci, the first-year starter, Spartans leading tackler, leading the charge.
One guy to keep your eye on who's special is number 26, Brandon Randall. Now, he plays as a linebacker, but they put him in down as a defensive end. He helps bring the speed off the edge that forces Nate Stanley up into the pocket, and Joe Bocci cleans up the rest.
Instead of the lefty punter on a hop. Reese Nelson trying to make people miss.
Kevin Ward makes the tackle.
Well, we welcome you who join us from Fenway Park. Astros and Red Sox coming to a close. Aaron Goldsmith alongside Brady Quinn. Bruce Feldman down to the sidelines for us. Michigan State, a very impressive opening drive, Brady. 7 plays, 75 yards, and Lewerke in particular impressive.
5 for 5 on his opening drive, finding number 18, Felton Davis, early and often, finally to cap with a touchdown.
Adrian London, the running back, on the field for the first time. On play action, Lewerke going up top. And overthrows his intended target. Look at that time for Tristan Jackson. Good coverage by Josh Jackson.
A little misdirection. You got Holmes and L.J. Scott in the backfield. As they sprint out, all the attention goes to number 3, L.J. Scott, and there's the window in the back end of the defense to Felton Davis.
One more team.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 40. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Parker Hesse, the guilty party.
So take another look, and clearly this is long after the ball releases from Lewerke's hands. If you can tell in slow motion like that, you can only imagine what it looked like in real time.
This was an Iowa defense that held Penn State to 3 offensive points in the first half last week. 7-0 early on, Michigan State. Spartans' second drive. Chambers, the man in motion. Now the ground not going very far. London just 4 carries last week, keeping the legs churning. Josie Jewell right there, the reigning Big Ten Conference Defensive Player of the Week, the Big Ten's leading tackler. This is the heartbeat of this defense for Iowa.
Looked like Superman last week. 16 tackles, interception, fumble recovery. He was doing it all. He got overshadowed by Saquon Barkley in this performance.
Pass tipped and incomplete at midfield. Now we're talking about the linebacker for Iowa, Josie Jewell. He has been simply sensational to begin the season.
He's exactly what you look for when you think of a Big Ten linebacker. He's got the size, 6'2", 235 pounds. He runs well, tackles well in space, does a good job in coverage, and he's the leader of this defense. He gets everyone lined up, puts them in the right place, and makes the big play when they need it most.
36 consecutive start this linebacking core, a total 99 career starts. The linebacking group for the Hawkeyes. Working to pass again. Has a clean pocket, now flushed. And taken down right at the 40. Anthony Nelson among the Big Ten sack leaders so far this season right there.
This Iowa defensive front, that's 20 games straight now. They've had a sack in a game. I mean, There's no one necessarily that really stands out as far as having that speed that you look for in an edge rusher, but collectively, the group does such a good job of getting pressure on opposing quarterbacks and be able to find ways of getting negative plays.
After Michigan State went downfield easily on its first drive, not the same story the second time around. Hartberger to punt it away. Josh Jackson calling for the fair catch inside the 10. We'll step aside when we come back. Akram Wadley and this Iowa offense coming back on the field, an early lead for the Spartans. Welcome back to Fox College Football presented by Volkswagen. Happy you're with us on a just perfect day. 64 degrees here in East Lansing. We take a look at the series history, Brady, between these two teams, and it is spectacular how evenly matched it has been in recent meetings.
Both teams very similar. Well coached, very disciplined. You look at their approach, good defense, running the football, basing everything off of that, so you can see why it's been very even throughout the series history.
They split their last 8 meetings, 5 games decided by 7 points or fewer. And the eye, they give it to Wadley. Trying to get to the edge and taken down. Andrew Dowell on the pursuit. Raekwon Williams, a defensive tackle there also.
In order for the Iowa offense to have success running the football, they're going to have to be able to get to the outside. In that case, look at the Michigan State defense, that team speed in particular. Dowell outside of the linebacker position, running the football well. They're going to have to do a better job of trying to cut him off, allowing Wadley the opportunity to get upfield.
Dumps it off to Wadley, can't hold on. Brings up a 3rd and 12. Flag down on the field.
Holding. Offense number 78. Penalties declined. 3rd down.
It's the center, James Daniels. Does a very good job communicating all the calls up front. Good athlete, too. Pulls a little bit, too, in the running game. Now backed up, facing a tough 3rd and long. It's traditionally the area they like to give the ball to Wadley and let him try to make yards after the run or after a short catch.
That's exactly what they do. Tripped up immediately, going nowhere. Joe Bacci early on, very busy today.
Joe Bacci, the first-year starter. You're going to see number 35 right here on your screen. There's just no one there for him. You can see number 79, Sean Welsh, who's a returning starter, very experienced offensive lineman at Iowa. Not able to identify who to take between Joe Bacci or number 10, the safety, Matt Morrison.
Now the Spartans primed here for some very good field position. Maurice Nelson now cuts upfield, trying to find a seam. Short field ahead for Michigan State. Michigan State very impressive on its opening drive. Stalled on its second. Here comes its 3rd. Sponsored by Ford, going further so you can. And by Allstate, official protector of college football fans. Spartans looking sharp, ready, going through their pregame walk hours ago.
Yeah, pretty cool to kind of be able to sit back up from the booth and watch the unity between this team and really the way they conduct themselves.
We know Brian Lewerke's got the high and tight. Looked like he had the bow tie going on as well in that pregame stroll.
He's a fashionable guy. We had an opportunity to sit down and talk with him yesterday. All buttoned up. He's been buttoned up today, very sharp.
So the tight end switching sides. L.J. Scott gets his first carry and bursts ahead near the 6. Miles Taylor brings him down. Well, this is not looking like a Michigan State team that had all the miscues, especially early a week ago against Notre Dame.
Ton of penalties, ton of dropped balls, and Clearly, the turnovers is really what did them in the most. When you throw a pick six and you've got a running back who fumbles as he's going into the end zone, that is going to hurt you.
Scott, his first carry, a pickup of 9, brings up 2nd and short. They feed him again. Stonewall trying to find a push.
Got to keep an eye on for Michigan State is number 18, Felton Davis. So far, had a very productive day, 4 catches, 67 yards, and a touchdown. He's got a lot of size, 6'4", 200 pounds. He's got that size advantage over O.J. Medea.
And from Stewart in motion, Lewerke calls his own number, trying to lunge ahead. Let's see where they put him. Spartans confident they have it.
Kind of a disappointing result for the quarterback sneak compared to last week with Brian Lewerke with the 52-yard run he had versus Notre Dame.
Most quarterbacks would kill to have a 52-yard run, period, let alone run on a quarterback sneak.
I was hoping for a little bit more out of that run.
That close.
The Michigan State offense has been pretty good this year on 4th down. They've converted 2 of their 3 attempts. One of the best teams in the country in regards to 3rd down. So not surprised they're going to go for it when you've got a running back like L.J. Scott with his size, like the physical runner that he is. Not a big surprise.
Scott 6'1", 229. Lewerke again pushing forward. Does he have it this time?
Time out for a measurement.
Mark D'Antonio not too pleased.
Well, the ball's passed. It's inside the 21-yard line. And it looks like the sticks were sitting right at the 21-yard line. So looked like he had enough for it. Really, you got to credit their center.
By plenty.
And to me, it starts with their center, number 65, Brian Allen. The push that he gets and the physicality that he brings to the offensive line as their leader up front is a big reason why they've been so successful with some of those quarterback sneaks.
Captain making his 19th consecutive start. He was somebody that you were talking about very early on in the week, Brady.
Right, he's a guy that I think in order for this Michigan State offensive line to be effective in their run blocking, really getting that initial surge, it all starts with him getting movement off the ball.
Play action. Trying to find Davis again. Underthrown. Incomplete.
There is some grabbing and some shoving going on, but number 15, Josh Jackson, had tight coverage the entire way. If there's any doubt about the fact that was incomplete, I just think you're looking at Felton Davis wondering if one of his other arm free. Josh Jackson had it tied up.
I'm worried about the quarter pole this season, and Jackson has been one of the best cornerbacks in the Big Ten so far this year.
He's tough. I mean, he's tall, he's long, he's got the ability really to recover if he does get beat, plays the football very well.
And Scott trying to turn upfield. Hard crunch at the 15, and a flag comes in. He meant Amani Hooker head on.
It looked like it's going to be a number 81, Matt Sokol. Most likely for a hold.
Holding offense number 81. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
He was working on number 41, Bo Bauer, linebacker for Iowa, as he's trying to set the edge. You can see him right here. Watch him as he engages Bauer. Here's the key. Bauer stays to the outside. And it was L.J. Scott cuts it back up inside. The hit at the end by the fullback Hooker. Listen to this. And when Scott turned it back up inside, it forced Sokol to try to adjust. And at that point, he was just grabbing mesh, grabbing jersey.
Empty backfield on 2nd and 19. Finding Stewart, his second catch. Pretty spin. And now is Swan. That's a gain of 8. And another flag.
Personal foul, face mask. Defense number 41. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Bo Bauer.
We're going to take a look at this. And watch his left arm. Comes up to grab the face mask of Stewart. Pretty easy call. Don't know if it was necessarily egregious, but enough to get the flag.
Costly penalty. 1st and 10 now. Play action once again. Lewerke puts on the brake, steps up. He can run inside the 10 to the 5. Leading rusher for the Spartans. That for a moment might have a seam.
This is what makes it so difficult to defend Brian Lewerke, is once he gets outside the pocket, we talked about it in the open, he's very elusive. He's got the ability to really put his foot in the ground, change direction, and he's faster than I think people give him credit.
He's coming off nearly 400 yards of total offense last week against the Irish, but the pick 6 and a lost fumble.
Keep your eye on number 18, Felton Davis. He's been the guy that's kind of in the hot hand so far today. He's got the size advantage.
Trying to find Davis, tripped up, and a flag comes in. O.J. Mudia right there.
Pass interference, defense number 11. The foul occurred in the end zone. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Well, we're going to see this battle all game long. Watch as Davis tries to run a little bit of a return route out of it. O.J. Mudia just really tangled up the entire time. Now, the quarterbacks get 5 yards where they can, be physical and really kind of latch on. But fortunately, that kind of went a little bit further into the end zone.
Former track star from Farmington Hills, Michigan, just about an hour away from East Lansing.
You got to keep your eye on if they do run a play action pass is number 81, Matt Sokol.
Sokol in motion. They give it to Sokol and he drops it. Able to get on top. Trying to get tricky.
Well, there's a reason why they call it the jet sweep. Typically you use it for the faster guys, not necessarily a tight end. Sokol has been more of a red zone target in regards to the passing game down here. Now they're trying to get him a different way of touching the football. And it looked like he was going to change hands, and that's typically when you have a fumble. Anytime you're going to change arms that you're carrying the ball in.
Second and goal from the 6. Looking right away, Davis floats it that way. What a catch by Davis! His second score.
We saw Darrell Stewart do it last week versus Notre Dame. Now we see Felton Davis, and watch him high point the football and then secure it into his body as he goes to the ground. This could be the best look. Does he maintain possession as he goes to the ground? He does. Covers it up, survives the ground, and completes the action of the catch. What a day for Davis.
He has matched his season total in touchdowns in the first quarter.
4 receptions in the red zone, 4 touchdowns.
Matt Conklin makes it 14-0 Michigan State. Worth another look. presented by Volkswagen, is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, handing off big savings to you. Beautiful day here in East Lansing. 64 degrees at kick. 14-0 Michigan State. Brady, what does Iowa have to do to get back in this one quick?
They've got to have more success on first and second down. You know, they're dealing with the quickness of this Michigan State defensive front, something that they started off slow against Iowa State. That's somewhat of a more athletic, quicker defensive front, so they've got to do a good job of getting more production in the run game on first and second down.
4 carries for the Hawkeyes. -6 yards so far. Tackled from behind right away, Brandon Randall. By now, let's go back to Greg Wolf for an update. Greg, what's going on?
Aaron, thanks. Number 17, Louisville taking on Murray State out of the FCS. The Racers campus just a 3-hour drive from Louisville. Lamar Jackson, second in the nation in total offense, finds Charles Stanbury. Jackson's thrown for 3. He's run for another. Cardinals have added another score. They lead 35-3 second quarter. Aaron, Brady, back to you.
Sounds like a typical day for the reigning Heisman winner. Through the air this time, trying to find a seam. There's Matt Vandenberg, the 5th-year senior, good for a first down.
Yeah, both Matt Vandenberg and Nick Easley get targeted a lot on first and second down. Watch them set up the screen. Look at number 38, TJ Hawkinson. Now, he was covered up, which means typically he's not going to be able to release downfield and be eligible. Because this ball was completed behind the line of scrimmage, it allows him to release downfield.
Foot injury last year cut Vandenberg's season short. Was fantastic 2 years ago for Iowa. On play action, Stanley, clean pocket, deep heave, down the middle, and he overthrows his intended target, going once again to Vandenberg.
Well, they tightened up the splits, and what that does is it forces the Michigan State cornerbacks to play off a little bit. And that also allows them to be able to get up onto the safeties where Iowa feels like they have the better mismatches in coverage. And they're working on the true freshman, Trey Person, number 24. Trying to get him isolated one-on-one with Vandenberg. And look at the nice move by Vandenberg to get to the inside, but unfortunately not an opportunity for him to make a play on the football.
A very limited playing time for Person so far this year, the freshman out of Atlanta.
Here's Wadley, top of the screen.
Stanley looking right, now stepping. Gets a block and gets hit short of the first down.
Nate Stanley's athletic enough, meaning he's mobile enough to run a lot of the boot action that they run and escape and pick up some yards. Not quite like Lewerke, but good enough to be able to hurt you a little bit.
Well, Stanley, a tremendous 3-sport athlete in high school from Wisconsin. At one point touching 90 miles an hour as a high school pitcher.
That's a big third down for momentum for Iowa right now.
They need 2. Quick hitter trying to find Fant to try it in. He's got enough for the first down to move the chains and out of bounds at about the 40. Fant's first catch.
Noah Fant kind of falls in the footsteps of a former tight end for Iowa like Dallas Clark. He's got that sort of athleticism and pass catching ability. They run the quick screen to the outside. They free him up by motioning him across the formation. Michigan State was playing man-to-man coverage. Tend to do that on third down, but a big first down by Iowa.
Now for Fant, all 9 catches this year have either been for a score or a first down, just like that one. We'll step aside here from East Lansing. Welcome back to Fox College Football, presented by Volkswagen. 14-0 Michigan State leading as we are about to begin the second quarter. Our first quarter stats.
This is that area of the field where Iowa sometimes likes to take a shot. I'd like to see them take a shot to number 6, Smith-Marset. He's the guy that's got the most speed on this Iowa offense.
4 plays on first down so far for Iowa, minus a yard as Wadley tries to spin forward. Well, moments ago, Brady, this is it's about to get a little dusty here. What a tribute. This is something new at Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City, the Children's Hospital that neighbors the stadium. Everyone at Kinnick Stadium turning and waving to the children on the top floor, and the good folks here of East Lansing doing the same, waving back to all the kids back in Iowa City.
Absolutely incredible. The work that Iowa's done to bring a smile to those kids' faces. It's all in Iowa City. You're seeing it here in East Lansing. Pretty special.
Wadley still trying to get free. 5 carries for just a yard. Nick Easley tries to put a move on game. Tackle not going anywhere. Trey Person, who seen some major playing time today.
That's a tough part for Iowa. When you look at how Michigan State's defensive backs match up against your wide receivers, they've got the better talent. They've got the better athletes. So they're going to have to make someone miss, or they're going to have to do something else within their formation or motion to be able to get guys free. As I said before, the one guy to keep your eyes on is number 6, Amir Smith Marset, excuse me.
Stanley lobbing it to Smith Marset. Adjusts his route inside the 10. What an adjustment by the true freshman.
One-on-one. He's got the speed. He's got the size and ability. He's going to want to run an inside fade route. We're going the true freshman, Josiah Scott. And looks how once he gets ahead of him, then he can adjust back to the football. Good job by Nate Stanley giving him a ball that he can adjust to make the big play.
It's a pickup of 31, the big play that Iowa's been looking for. First and goal from the 8. Hawkinson moving to the right side. Wadley has been bottled up. Kenny Willekes. Chris Fry as well, one of the captains for Michigan State.
Here's the issue. Iowa's not getting up to the second level. They're not getting up to the linebackers to be able to cover down. So, right now, Fry and Bocce, they've been free runners. So they've got to do a better job of securing the defensive front and then getting bodies on the second level of the Michigan State linebackers. Now, how can you stop that? How can you slow down those linebackers? Well, a little bit of play action pass or make them have to think about some of these tight ends for Iowa. Number 87, Noah Fant just got back into the game at the bottom of your screen.
He's in motion. Wadley has a hole, bursts ahead, hurdles into the end zone. Pay dirt for the Hawkeyes for the first time.
Well, once they motion Fant away, it pulls the defender out of the box, and you're going to see them run the power to the left side of the screen. He's going to come around and end up lead blocking. That's really what helps create the hole. And I just talked about it a second ago. You got to do some different things with your formation and personnel in order to keep Michigan State on their heels.
Racinos puts it through. Iowa on the board. Cuts this Spartans lead in half. Akram Wadley, the senior out of New Jersey. One of the best in the conference. Fox College Football is sponsored by State Farm, here to help life go right. And by the Kia Turbo Soul. It's arrived. Well, right as we went to break, Brady, we had a penalty on that extra point.
And this is a new rule. Look at number 98, Demetrius Cooper. He's going to try to jump over the offensive line for Iowa. And this is called leveraging. So the rule change is you used to be able to line up off the ball and try to get a running start and jump over. But now, in order to help with player safety, they've forced you to have to be on the defensive front if you want to try to jump over. The key is you can't touch anyone on the offensive line. They're trying to protect the lineman that you're trying to jump over, and they're trying to protect you as a player, too, because you can obviously fall and hurt yourself when you try to do that.
Now, Lewerke Jackson with some puncture wounds after that hurdle job. Didn't look too comfortable. Miguel Racinos getting ready to kick things away. Andre Welch, true freshman walk-on. Getting some looks here today on the kick return team. And Brady will take a look now at winning duos sponsored by Volkswagen. Why settle for an SUV when you can have an SUV double W? How about the early combinations between Lewerke and Davis?
Yeah, this is pretty easy. Lewerke's 7 completions, 5 of them have been to Felton Davis, 2 for touchdowns. So these two have easily been the winning duo. And be surprised if they didn't keep this going throughout the game. At some point, if you're Iowa, they don't do this. But you may want to start thinking about putting number 15, Josh Jackson, on number 18, Felton Davis, because right now, Michael O.J. Medea is having a little bit of an issue covering him.
And up to L.J. Scott. And we'll pick up on first down. No surprise, Josie Jewell right there, the senior, his 4th tackle, leading tackler in the Big Ten. Jewell very lightly recruited coming out of high school. Kirk Ferentz saying that the coaching staff went back and forth as to whether or not he was actually a Division I player or not. Sure looks like he is. To pass. It's Josh Jackson up in the air, and Lewerke gets down to the ground just in the nick of time. O.J. Medea right there. Let's go down to the field, bring in Bruce.
Aaron, Josie Jewell's story is pretty amazing. His grandpa Bob had dreamed of playing football for the home state Iowa Hawkeyes. A few months before that dream was going to be a reality, doctors discovered a brain tumor. He could no longer hear very well. It impacted his balance. 70 years later, grandson Josie Jewell is living his dream playing for the Hawkeyes. And like you said, he was a really under-the-radar recruit. No other offers. Iowa offered him right before signing day.
Yeah, incredible story. I thought maybe he'd go play D3 ball. 6 catch for Davis. This time they bottle him up compared to others, but O.J. Medea in the coverage again. This will move the chains for a first down.
Dave Warner and the offensive staff is really trying to get Felton Davis the ball. They ran a little mesh concept, meaning they took the tight end, number 81, Matt Sokol. They basically drug him across the field so Davis could come underneath him and basically rub off his defender to get separation.
On play action towards the sideline, the tight end Sokol. Oh, this is maybe a little bit more in his wheelhouse than the jet sweep.
I was a bit surprised by that. But again, that's something that this Michigan State offense likes to do in the field, is utilize the jet sweep. They've got some speed and talent at wide receiver, so I wouldn't be surprised if they don't try it again, just maybe with some different personnel.
Sokol among a group of Spartans who on the bye week traveled to Houston, help those in need after Hurricane Harvey. Of course, Darrell Stewart from Houston, leading receiver, has been pretty quiet today as they pitch this to Scott. Scott's got enough. Josie Jewell pushing him out of bounds.
Now watch number 43 here. He's running with his hair on fire to pursue the football. Saw this all game last week versus Penn State and Saquon Barkley. This time trying to get there before L.J. Scott can pick up the first down.
This game, of course, a rematch of the 2015 Big Ten Championship game, a game that went down to the absolute wire. It was a win for Michigan State. Josie Jewell saying this week he rewatched that game not once but twice.
That's the sort of motivation that a loss like that will bring you and get you fired up for today's matchup.
Keeping it, Lewerke past midfield. Pretty good pickup on first down.
That's the biggest difference that we're seeing between the Michigan State and the Iowa offense right now. Michigan State is having much greater success on first down. That means once you get the second and third down, they're in much more favorable positions. Still got the entire playbook in hand once they approach third down.
And we talk about how close recent matchups have been between these two teams. Mark D'Antonio, 4-4 lifetime against Iowa. Kirk Ferentz, 7-7 lifetime against Michigan State. Maybe that comes as no surprise. To Scott, hurdles a man, delivers a blow. Bo Bauer there to bring him down, third leading tackler for the Hawkeyes. Picks up 3. Third down and 3 for Michigan State.
The way you're running the football right now, you got to think you can feed L.J. Scott or involve Brian Lewerke in it as well, some of that zone read, but The one guy who's been a little more quiet today they like to target on third down is Darrell Stewart. He's their leading wide receiver coming into the game, number 25. Will be at the top of your screen up here on the slot. He's the guy to keep your eye on.
Back of the ground to Scott. He needs 3. Pushes ahead, comes up short. Nathan Budgeta, his first tackle, a guy who is known for eating up double teams right there in the middle.
Looks like Michigan State's going to elect to punt. Last time went for 4th down, was able to pick it up. Obviously 4th and inches. This time a little bit too much meat on that bone.
Josh Jackson, the cornerback, deep to return. Hartbarger, the punter. Calling for a fair catch inside the 10. And a flag comes in.
Well, you'd wonder if it's going to be catch interference. I don't know.
There is no foul on the play for kick-catching interference. The defender was blocked into the returner. Timeout.
Well, that settles that. We'll come right back here to East Lansing. These two teams have played a lot of close ones lately. Maybe this one's another. Fox College Football, presented by Volkswagen, is sponsored by Discover Card. We treat you like you treat you. Michigan State early, 14-7. This will be the second time the Hawkeyes are starting inside their own 10.
The biggest key is trying to get another big play like their last drive. You saw the completion to Smith-Marset on the scene to set up the score. One thing I haven't seen a lot of today is some of their double move routes. They like to do that from time to time.
Flush, and heaves it away. Stanley pressure to the back of the end zone. Demetrius Cooper, limited playing time for Cooper all over him.
Cooper called for the personal foul and leveraging the last time, but a little play action fake as he tries to get outside. May have had a window too wildly, but Cooper got his hand up and Stanley didn't think he could make the throw. Oof, been there before here in East Lansing. It is not fun.
Well, again, nothing happening on first down for Iowa so far today. Under 7 minutes here in the first half. Wadley wrestled down right at the 10. This is very reminiscent to last week. Wadley, a pretty quiet first half. In fact, a very quiet first half by his standards.
They've got to find a way of getting him going in the passing game, because he adds that real explosive dimension when he's able to get outside of the backfield, catch the football in space, and make people miss. It's kind of a thing that I think has been missing so far in this game, that you saw him kind of spark Iowa coming back and having more production on offense last week.
Wadley, a guy with over 2,000 career yards. Third and long. Stanley floats it to Noah Fant, out of bounds. Pressure from Demetrius Cooper once again.
When Noah Fant has the athleticism to split out as a wide receiver and run those sorts of routes, and you can see it's cornerback number 22, Josiah Scott, matched up with him. So clearly Fant has the size advantage, but Stanley's got to do a better job of giving him a football to allow him to just go up and make a play. You got to trust your pass catchers.
Once again, a short field ahead. Larice Nelson back to return. And it's Stewart who is there to slide down and make the catch. Close call there for Michigan State. We'll step aside, under 6 to play in the first half. Coming up at the half.
This area of the field, Michigan State likes to take shots, maybe some special plays. Ran a flea flicker last week unsuccessfully versus Notre Dame.
They have Holmes in the backfield. He gets the carry. Picks up a few yards on first down. Holmes saw his workload increase last week because of the fumble problems by L.J. Scott. We heard this coaching staff say this week that they are simply looking to ride the hot hand this week.
They really wanted someone to kind of step up and emerge as the featured back. When you look at Holmes and Scott, they're almost kind of the same guy size-wise and really their ability to run the football.
Quick hitter, incomplete. Looking for Stewart. 2 catches today for Stewart, the leading receiver for the Spartans.
That was an RPO. And they have the run-pass option. And what they like to do is versus teams that play zone coverage like Iowa, they're going to put the football out, see if those linebackers bite up. And if they do, try to pop it inside to Darryl Stewart.
This is new for Michigan State, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely different than what we've seen in the past from Michigan State.
Stewart comes in motion on 3rd and 8. Lewerke design rollout, buying some time. By the sideline, Stewart can't hold on. He is crunched by one of the best corners in the conference, Josh Jackson, all over him.
And this was just a one-man read the entire time. They started Darryl Stewart to the left side of the formation. They're going to motion him across and basically try to clear things out. Watch as he comes upfield, and everyone else is clearing out to try to create a window. And we talked about Josh Jackson. He is about as good as it gets as a cover corner, stays in phase, and is able to get back to the football and break it up. Well done.
Jackson, a busy man, back to return this punt. Calling for a fair catch once again. And once more, long field ahead for Iowa. Just over 5 minutes to play in the first half. Michigan State leading Iowa 14-7.
Lubbock at night. It's a dangerous place to be if you're Oklahoma State and you're trying to rebound from a loss last week versus TCU. That will not be easy. Their defense is going to be tested by Nick Shimonock and that Texas Tech offense.
Hawkeyes from their own 8. Wadley is absolutely leveled at the 5. Joe Bocci, first-year starter, leading tackler for the Spartans.
He just diagnoses plays so quick. Watch as he follows Wadley. He's on this the entire way. Number 78, James Daniels, climbs back to the backside. Number 69, Keegan Render couldn't get there either. And this offensive line is struggling to be able to cover up those linebackers for Michigan State.
Loss of 2 on first down. Over the middle, and not held on to, incomplete. Trying to find Wadley out of the backfield. Kari Willis.
And typically this is where you see Wadley get targeted on 3rd and long. They usually dump it down or find a way of getting him a screen in space to make a play. They took a shot towards Noah Fant, number 87, their tight end last time. Let's see if they maybe look to take a shot at him again. Right here, in the middle of your screen.
10 back at their own 7. And early movement up front.
False start, offense, number 77. Half the distance to their goal. 3rd down.
Redshirt freshman Lewerke Jackson.
And now you got to start thinking about running the football to save room for the punter. I mean, some sort of positive gain so your punter's not feeling the back of the end zone on his heels.
Ball is marked at the 3. To Wadley. Punt team coming back on for Iowa.
This Michigan State defensive front, number 91, Robert Bowers, the rest of the group up front, they're playing hard. They're getting off the football, and they're getting after this Iowa offensive line. They were tired of what went on last week here in East Lansing. That Notre Dame offensive line is one of the best in the country. They probably heard a lot about Iowa. Traditionally one of the best offensive lines in college football. It's something to prove here today.
Nelson and Stewart back. Given the incredible field position for the Spartans, it's surprising that this is only a 14-7 Michigan State lead. As right now, we check in for a game break. We bring in Greg Wolf.
Aaron, thanks. SEC East battle going on in Knoxville. Last year, Tennessee beat Georgia on a Hail Mary. May not come down to that this year. True freshman quarterback Jake Fromm, 4 yards, scores second rushing touchdown of the day. He's thrown for another as the pressure continues to mount on Butch Jones. Bulldogs lead 24-0 third quarter. Back to you.
So much hype about Jacob Eason, quarterback at Georgia. Jake Fromm's gone in there and really got the job done. And Georgia looks like the best team in the SEC East, maybe the best challenge to Alabama at some point this season, maybe in the SEC championship game.
From the 36 on play action, Lewerke going deep, trying to find Davis for the third time in the end zone, overthrows him.
Never in the history as a ball being completed that was thrown out of bounds. So it's a good idea. Again, continuing to work on O.J. Medea. But you got to keep it in play. You got to at least give your wide receiver an opportunity. I think when that's happened today so far, Felton Davis has come down with the football.
Well, Davis entered today with 3 career touchdowns. He has 2 this afternoon in the first half. Lewerke rolling out. Now stepping up, spinning, stays alive. That's as far as he'll go. About back to the original line of scrimmage. Josie Jewell, Budgeta as well there.
Just when you think you have him in your grasp, there's a spin move, there's a cut, there's some sort of suddenness. I mean, that's the thing about him is I think people kind of slept on his athletic ability, even as, you know, being recruited as more of a prototypical pocket passer. He's kind of turned into more of a dual threat guy.
And you can make the case the most athletic quarterback in the D'Antonio era.
True freshman Matt Hankins down here, matched up on Davis on the bottom of your screen.
To pass on 3rd 11. Davis, another catch. This is very close.
They ran a switch route and it allowed Davis to get upfield and get to the center of the defense where there's that void or soft spot in the zone coverage. He beats Hankins off the ball, settles in the window nicely. Let's see if he gets his hands underneath the football to secure the catch. He does.
That's a career best 7 catches for Davis. Keep in mind he had 12 entering today on the season.
Mark D'Antonio wanted a running back to emerge. I think we've seen a go-to wide receiver emerge here today.
There's no doubt about that. Move Stewart in motion on the jet sweep. He's got it. Trying to find the edge. A stiff arm to Jewell, and he runs out of bounds.
Good play by number 44, Ben Neiman.
Beg your pardon, Ben Neiman.
And he's a player in this Iowa defense who's really got a tough task because they'll split him out over the wide receivers. And he's got to drop in his zone coverage, sometimes reroute and jam, but he's also got to play the run. You know, usually you match personnel, so that linebacker would come off the field and they put on a defensive back, but they don't at Iowa, at least not until 3rd down. But he's smart enough. His dad's the defensive coordinator at Rutgers. He gets the job done.
Andre London, the lone back. He was met immediately. A.J. Epinesa, true freshman, 5-star recruit. One of only 2 5-star recruits in the Ferentz era. As we're under 2 minutes here to play in the first half.
Had a sack last week, which led to a forced fumble versus Penn State. 6'5", 270 pounds. He's still got a ton of room to grow. And Chris Doyle, their strength and conditioning coach, I'm sure he'll continue to put on some more muscle.
Under a minute now. 3rd and 4 to go for the Spartans. The end zone finding Davis again. Will a flag come in? No flag. Tight coverage. O.J. Mudia winning that one.
Working for the back shoulder. Watch as Davis goes upfield. Medea does a good job staying on top. Decent amount of contact. You can't tell if it was necessarily Medea or Davis. Either way, it could be a tough football to bring in.
Now, last week, Matt Coughlin connecting on his first field goal of the season. That was from 40 yards out. This from 38. And he's 2 for 2 on the season. Michigan State tacks on now a 10-point lead under a minute to go. We'll step aside. Coming right back here to East Lansing. Well, coming up at the half, stay tuned for Rob Stone, Dave Wannstedt, Matt Leinart, Robert Smith for the State Farm halftime show. Some of the storylines they'll be talking about. Saquon Barkley dazzling once again. Maryland to Minnesota, some late game heroics. And number 7 Georgia versus Tennessee. All that's coming up at the half.
You see Matt Leinart's new haircut.
Well, that's worth viewing itself.
I liked it. I mean, he was getting a hard time back at studio for it, but I thought it was a good, clean cut.
Well, that's how it goes in the studio, isn't it? No matter what.
Yeah, I think anytime you change something, you're going to get a hard time.
Upended at the 40. Amani Jones, a linebacker. Well, we told you at the top, this is a rematch of the 2015 Big Ten championship game, and what a game that was.
Michigan State and Iowa for a trip to the college football playoffs. Intercepted. He picked that one like Derek Jeter. Goes down the field for Smith. Oh, he got it. Touchdowns, Iowa. L.J. Scott. No, he didn't get in. Or did he? Yes. Touchdown, Spartans. The Michigan State Spartans are the Big Ten champions.
What a game that was.
Who had more fun, Gus Johnson or Michigan State when they won the Big Ten championship?
I think it's always Gus. Stanley, pressure going down. Kari Willis once again.
Interesting way that Michigan State elected to kick off. Obviously giving Iowa good field position, but the biggest key is you look at this Delta package, the speed rush, you can't take a negative play. And they elect to bring pressure off the edge. Safety Kari Willis ends up getting home for the sack. They're going to put some time back on the clock, but it's always the biggest key on any 2-minute drive. And you look at offensive coordinator Brent Ferentz, spent a lot of time, 4 years up in New England, working with Josh McDaniels and Billy O'Brien, some of the brightest minds in the NFL as far as offensive football. And being coached by Josh McDaniels, I can tell you firsthand, you got to get off to a positive start. If you don't, the likelihood of you being able to move the football successfully and getting a score is going to be tough. But they've got 2 timeouts. They're still going to have an opportunity to throw the football in the middle of the field because they've got the ability to call a timeout and set something else up.
Brian, the eldest son of Kirk Ferentz, former Hawkeye team captain. .32 seconds to play in the first half. 2nd and 17 for the Hawkeyes.
It's either got to be Fant or Smith Marset, one of their difference makers at the top of your screen.
On the ground, Wadley. Little shimmy. It's back to about the original line of scrimmage.
Well, I mean, I don't like the call because if you're not going to try to be aggressive, Michigan State gets the football at a half. You've still got a couple timeouts. At this point, you're almost conceding the half.
Timeout called. We'll come back in 30 seconds, right back here to the banks of the Red Cedar in just a moment.
Don't that feel real funky, y'all? Make the good times roll.
Welcome back to Fox College Football, presented by Volkswagen. And we take a look now at our Geico first half stats.
I think the biggest thing really for both teams, but more so for Michigan State, is not turning over the football. Something they've dealt with in the past, really hurt them last week versus Notre Dame. And that was the other thing, really trying to figure out, how both teams would respond after losses last week. So far, Michigan State coming out with more momentum and better execution in the first half.
Aaron Goldsmith alongside Brady Quinn, and these two teams, as we mentioned in the first half, have a history of playing very close, fairly contested games between one another. And one thing we saw first and foremost in the first half was a battle of field position.
Big time, and in particular Michigan State having more favorable field position, utilizing that to their advantage, and Iowa really not having much success on first down and struggling at times to get drives going and keep them going. So one of the biggest issues I think moving forward is going to be how Iowa comes out in the first half trying to get more success on first and second down.
Coughlin angles his kick, a short kick to the up man. Leveled at the 30. Let's go down to the field, check in with Bruce.
Aaron, I asked Kirk Ferentz, I said, what do you got to do to get your offense on track? He goes, well, we could start by actually blocking them. We are getting whipped. We are really taking it on the chin. In keeping up with the boxing analogies, Mark D'Antoni was pretty pleased with how well his defense tackled. He said, you know what? This is going to be a 12-round fight. We know we're going to be in this for the long haul. We got to keep playing hard.
All right, Bruce. You have to figure for Iowa, trying to find a way to spring Wadley loose, averaging just 1.5 yards per carry, 11 carries, 16 yards at half number 1, one of the best backs of the Big Ten.
If you look at this Iowa offense this season, their second half has been the better half at scoring points this year.
Swinging out to Wadley right away, puts on the brakes, sheds one man. Able to get past the 35. Kari Willis knocks him out of bounds as safety.
That's the biggest key, trying to get it into his hands quickly and allowing him the opportunity to make a move. He's got such a good job of really start-stop ability. I mean, he can literally be at full speed, stop on a dime, and then accelerate again.
Well, that's Penn State. They saw that firsthand last week ago in Iowa City. Pockets had the tight end in motion.
We saw the pressure from Michigan State coming from the right side. Looks like he's maybe trying to check to run to the left.
And he does. Near the first down. Panashuk, the defensive tackle. That'll move the chains. First down, Iowa.
Usually when you've got a one-back set, when you get pressure from the defense, you're going to run away from it because you don't have the extra blocker. But when you have a two-back set, you can run into it, you can run away. That time, Iowa elected to run away from it.
It has been a struggle on first down. 10 plays on first down for the Hawkeyes for -5 yards. Play action this time. Stanley wants to throw. Steps up, tucks it. Good pickup on first down, taken down by Demetrius Cooper.
Good job by Nate Stanley getting up into the pocket and finding some green grass to get a positive gain. This Michigan State defensive front has been tough so far today. Last year they struggled at getting sacks. Only 11 last year in total for Michigan State. They came into the game with 6. They already have 2 earlier today, so almost equaling their total. 4 games in the season.
Go back to 2015, they had nearly 40 sacks. To the short side, Wadley, and he is wrestled down. Naquan Jones pulling him down to the grass.
Yeah, big number 93, Naquan Jones. He's a guy that really pops on film. Watch him beat number 52, Boone Myers. Myers is trying to work across to be able to help set an edge for Wadley to get to the outside. Naquan Jones is so quick for being 6'4", 330 pounds. He can really move.
3rd and 8 from the 43. They bring Wadley back into the backfield. This time to throw. And a double coverage to Easley. He's got it inside the 30. Easley, a very quiet first half, just his second catch today.
We saw the widen fade to Smith-Marset earlier. Now we're going to see it with Nick Easley. Watch him as he gets outside leverage. He beats the defender, Corey Willis, downfield, and he should. That's a safety trying to match up with you. What about that throw, though? Just dropping it in the bucket. And even Nate Stanley handling the operations. The play clock was running down. He got everyone back where they needed to be before the snap and executed the play.
Pretty throw pickup of 32. Wadley's 14th carry today, averaging under 2 yards at Toadstool.
Already seeing more success on first down in this first drive for Iowa. We saw center number 78, James Daniels, working up to the next level. And they're going to have to continue to keep doing that if they want to have success.
Looking for Smith-Marset. Instead, over the middle, trying to find his tight end, T.J. Hawkinson. A catch back in the first half. Andrew Dowd draped on him. Now we saw that big play from Smith-Marset in the first half, a pickup of 31. That's been it for him so far, though.
Credit the Michigan State defense, and they've done a good job really not allowing people to get downfield and make big plays. But this is that part of the field. You got to look at Fenton, you got to look at Marset. They're both on the same side right now at the top of your screen.
Fenton with just one catch. Fenton has it knocked away. What a play by Morrissey, who had a big week last week. Has been pretty quiet today. Not as much playing time.
It's one-on-one coverage. This is exactly what Iowa was hoping for. You see number 87 right there matched up on number 10, Matt Morrissey. It's exactly what they wanted. They wanted one-on-one coverage. Fant tries to box him out, but credit Morrissey for being able to get around and try to get a hand in to disrupt the play. Again, had a lot of tackles last week. Struggled, though, in pass coverage.
On 4th and 8. Restetter, the punter throwing behind, and the catch is completed inside the 10. Little trickery from the Hawkeyes.
It's A.J. Epinesa. You're going to watch him kind of slip out all of a sudden. You get a little misdirection, all of a sudden it's a throwback to the eligible tight end. You got to love the design. You got to love the fact that Kirk Ferentz wasn't concerned at all about being down and just trying to get points. Being aggressive.
Safe to say the first career reception for Epinesa. Ball marked at the 8. Play action over the middle. Trying to find Vandenberg back in the end zone, incomplete.
It's one of those pop passes. You see him at the NFL level, in particular with the New England Patriots. Brian Ferentz has brought that here to Iowa. Utilizing those hard play action pass fakes and then try to slip in a little pop pass in behind.
On the ground on 2nd and goal. Inside the 5, Wadley taken down. Right about at the 5. Justin Lane coming over from the corner.
Good vision for the cutback by Wadley. It wasn't there on the play side. He was patient enough to see the cutback lane to go pick up a few. Hawkinson needed to do a better job of helping to steal his block. But right now on 3rd down, this is Noah Fant time.
Looking on the short side of the field, pressure, stays alive, and he loses it on the throw. Michigan State ball. Joe Bocci strikes again.
Unbelievable. Stanley's able to avoid Cooper being able to pull him down with the sack, and the ball slips out in the back end. It doesn't matter if it was a forward pass or a fumble.
The ball was fumbled. The Michigan State player caught it before it hit the ground. First down, Michigan State.
I mean, either way, it was going to be ruled a turnover because Bocce got his hands underneath.
Timeout.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram, and by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. All right, Brady, let's go back to what just happened. It is Spartans football. We'll take another look.
Well, here's the key. If it was ruled a forward pass, which it wasn't, it was ruled a fumble. As Bocce goes to secure the football and get underneath, you can see it right there. It rolls out as he's looking to, per se, survive the ground, meaning controlling possession of the football to the ground. Right there, he uses the ground to aid or assist him. So if it had been ruled a forward pass, it would have been incomplete. Because it's a fumble, now they get the football.
Lewerke rolling out, checks his feet, fires a strike. 8th catch by Davis today.
Just a lot of separation. When you're able to burn a team downfield, all of a sudden it makes those comeback throws much easier to get separation on. That's what that was. Josh Jackson has done a good job today in coverage. Right now, Felton Davis is getting the best of everyone in that Iowa secondary.
Holmes not going very far. Josie Jewell right there. Anthony Nelson also to push him out.
Well, credit number 27, Amani Hooker. He actually came down from a safety position and forced the ball back inside to Jewell. Overly aggressive. They saw that quick pitch to the outside earlier in their game, and the Iowa coaching staff must have made the adjustment on the sidelines because Hooker was ready for it.
That fumble recovery, by the way, to go back a moment ago. The first fumble recovered this year by the Spartans defense. They were one of 9 teams in FBS play to have not recovered a fumble entering today's game. Behind, what a catch! Sensational grab, Larice Nelson. His 2nd catch of the season is a thing of beauty.
Just watch this grab. He turns his body, really gets one hand on the football to secure the catch. The true freshman out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, American Heritage High School is a playmaker.
That's good for 23. His only other catch was for 5 yards in the opener against Bowling Green.
You've seen him get some more reps in the return game as well. They've got a lot of talent with this true freshman class here at Michigan State.
Quick strike, trying to get Stewart involved. Can't hold on to it. Hey, time now for a game break. Let's go back, check in with Greg Wolf.
Aaron, thanks. We go to Beaver Stadium. Penn State, of course, coming off that thriller at Iowa last weekend. Trace McSorley airs it out. Deshaun Hamilton, look at this grab. 24 yards, his 2nd receiving touchdown of the day, and Penn State leads 38-14, 4th quarter. Aaron, Brady, back to you.
I don't know if there's anyone better right now as far as downfield passing than Penn State and Trace McSorley. I mean, the job that he does, throwing it up, giving his wide receivers opportunities to catch the football is second to none. Maybe Baker Mayfield in Oklahoma. It's those 2 guys.
In stride, first catch, Cody White. Past the 40, Josh Jackson brings him down. Cody White, very, very impressive true freshman.
That's 6'3", 200 pounds, and he can move. And you see he finds the soft spot in the zone coverage, and it allows him the opportunity to get catch and run downfield. Credit Lewerke with the good accuracy.
First touch today, Risen covering some ground. Speaking of another true freshman.
I was going to say every single true freshman and wide receiver has touched the ball now in sequence. We saw Risen, we saw Nelson, we saw Cody White. So clearly, offensive coordinator Dave Warner wants to get everyone involved and wanted someone to step up in the backfield. We've seen Felton Davis do it at the wide receiver position, but now we're seeing the depth and maybe the future of Michigan State football.
London up the middle. And he was pushed back right away. You were talking about the depth, the youth for this Michigan State team.
Yeah, 12 true freshmen have played so far. Look at that, 14 on the roster right now. And you look at how many guys have played, 12 of that 14 so far. I mean, this early in the season, only 4 games into the season, you're seeing that much youth. And for Michigan State fans, you know, last year was tough, and last week wasn't the way you wanted to play at home versus Notre Dame. But you've got a you have to have a very, very optimistic future looking at this young group and how talented they are.
The line again, tries to turn upfield. He's close. Now they haven't moved the sticks yet. We've seen D'Antonio upset earlier today in a situation like this.
I think he wants a measurement, which isn't unreasonable considering how close it does look, at least stuff here from the booth.
The ruling on the field was the runner was short of the line to gain. Play is under further review.
No request granted.
With the second effort by London, it looked like the Iowa defense was able to kind of get some shots in. A pretty good look right here. The number 43 shows you Jewel. He's always in there on every play, it seems like. And it does look like he was able to get down London before he was able to get to the first down marker. That's sitting at about 29-yard line.
Well, for more on this, for the first time today, let's go back to Los Angeles, bring in Mike Pereira. Mike, what do you make of this?
Well, I'll tell you, it's just a matter of description here. Blandino's with me. He calls it backside. I call it gluteus maximus. But the rear end is down before he gets to the line to gain. So, you know, I do clearly think he is short. It stays short of the first down.
Short of the line to gain. Fourth down.
No, you're both right. Thank you, Mike.
Now the biggest question is, do you go for it? Do you kick? And it looks like they're going to go for it, and we've seen a number of times the quarterback sneak. We saw that in the first half from Brian Lewerke.
They bring some beef in the backfield as well. L.J. Scott.
And we'll start with Brian Allen, their center.
Overload the left side. Circle of motion and flags.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, fourth down.
I was about to say, we haven't heard Kevin Jarvis's name yet, and you'll see right here, he flinches. Usually that's a good thing when you're an offensive lineman. You don't hear your name called out, but true freshman. Just got a little bit jumpy there.
First career start. David Beadle out today, injured. Jarvis in there in his place.
Highly touted recruit out of Maine South, Park Ridge, Illinois.
Coughlin trying to line up one from 53 yards. And more laundry. When the flags have come today, they have come in bunches.
Yeah. Probably not the time and place for a fake, but I think anytime your quarterback ends up being the holder on PAT or field goal, it's always a possibility.
Delay of game, defense, disconcerting signals. 5-yard penalty, it remains fourth down.
Interesting. Usually you see defensive lines stemming their front or moving. Sometimes the officials can look at that as them trying to bait the offensive lineman or the offensive front to jump. I would imagine that was what happened there.
Turns it to a 4th and 1 now.
And that was the Iowa defensive front all the way. What a stop. What a momentum change for Iowa.
Iowa continuing to hang around in this one. It seems like it has been all Michigan State. Iowa trying to mount a comeback here in half number 2. Now, some sad news to pass along. Legendary Purdue coach Joe Tiller, the school's all-time winningest coach over a dozen seasons, passed away at his home in Wyoming. He was 74 years old. Tiller coached Purdue from 1997 to 2008 before retiring, leading the Boilermakers to the 2000 Big Ten championship. And Brady, this was a guy who was very innovative.
Very. I mean, he ended up bringing the spread offense really to the Big Ten. Saw some of the most prolific passing that we've ever seen really at Purdue during his time as head coach. Great coach, even better man.
Ball on the 30. Quick strike. Wadley staying on his feet. For a nice pickup on first down. For more, let's bring in Bruce down on the field.
Guys, I think you really have to hammer home just an impact that Joe Tiller had on offensive football. When he came from Wyoming, the Big Ten was really smash mouth and 3 yards in a cloud of dust. He got it cranked up with that quote-unquote basketball on grass and Drew Brees, and you see a lot of his disciples from Kevin Sumlin to Jim Chaney. All these guys are all over college football with his imprint on it.
That's some good perspective. 2nd and 4 now. To Wadley. First down. Wadley, a couple of plays, moves the chains.
And I think the Michigan State defense is going to see a heavy dose of Akram Wadley. Really hasn't gotten going. They're really trying to manufacture ways of getting him touches and getting him opportunities to carry the football. Talking to Brian Ferentz before the game, he kind of said, look, we've got to have plays that we call no-brainers, meaning there's no doubt about it. He's going to get an opportunity to touch the football this many times.
He has scored the lone touchdown for Iowa so far. Smith in motion. Fumble. Stanley able to recover it.
That's the difficulty of trying to set up that jet sweep. It's all dependent upon getting the snap and being able to potentially give it off to Smith-Marset. You can look at Stanley, seeing him coming, and whether he's going to give it to him or if it was going to be a fake, either way, you'd like to time it up so you give some sort of action there.
Loss on the play makes it 2nd and 12. 3.5 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
No one over Hawkinson.
Strike over the middle, throwing behind his target, but the catch made at the 35 for the 2nd time, finding T.J. Hawkinson.
Well, no one was covering him. I mean, they're running a split safety zone coverage. Someone's got to carry him. Watch him go up the seam. Bocce's going to try to eventually get over there to cover him. There's just too much room. Look, Hawkinson's big, but he can run too. Got to play a little tighter coverage if you're Michigan State.
Not good for a gain of 23. Stack receiver set once again for Iowa. Kind of slings it out. Brandon Smith fumbles the ball, and it's picked up by the Spartans. Chris Fry, Johnny on the spot. Brandon Smith, who has only 1 catch all year, whose hands are so large he has to wear 3XL gloves. Can't hold on to that one, and it's Spartans football. Fox College Football, presented by Volkswagen, is sponsored by Duluth Trading. Tough, ingenious workwear designed and tested by tradesmen. Turnovers have been the story this year for Michigan State. Not so much creating them, not so much forcing them, but turning the ball over themselves. 17-7. Brandon Smith, 1 catch all season. Coughs it up. From the 41. L.J. Scott on the ground, able to bulldoze his way forward. Now, speaking of turnovers, Brady, we'll take a look at our Jeep stat comparison. This has been the big story for the Spartans this season.
Yeah, they've had a couple interceptions they've been able to get, but defensively they hadn't gotten any fumbles. So that's been the story so far today. But really their offense taking care of the football, their defense getting those takeaways. That's kind of getting back to that 2015 season when you won the Big Ten championship if you're Michigan State.
I remember they had not recovered a fumble all season long. They've scooped up 2 now today. On 2nd and 7, play action towards the sideline. And across midfield, Cam Chambers for his catch today.
That's their freshman wide receiver personnel group. You got Cam Chambers, who's a redshirt freshman, Hunter Ryson out there as well, who's a true freshman. They're sticking their Cody White, number 7. So again, a lot of youth. So for all these guys playing well and stepping up, and I think you've seen flashes of that if you're a Michigan State fan throughout the course of the season so far, but maybe not as consistent as they would have liked.
It's a pickup of 10. Lewerke trips. Trying to make something happen. Leading rusher for the Spartans.
Averaging about 70 yards a game. Again, he leads the Big Ten in rushing for quarterbacks. Very effective. Kind of different from the style of quarterback play they've had in the past. When you look at guys like Kirk Cousins and Brian Hoyer, Connor Cook.
Davis back on the field now. Boundary screen. A play action to nobody. Right over the middle. Sokol, the tight end, upended at the 30. Second grab today for the former high school quarterback.
Where your tight end's always going to try to find that soft spot in the zone coverage. And watch as Sokol releases downfield. Neither Bauer nor Neiman end up picking him up.
Lewerke keeping this. Lunging forward for pickup of about 5 before met by Anthony Nelson. One of the great sack artists so far this season in the Big Ten.
You see the running ability of Lewerke, something that they've had in the past. I mean, even with Connor Cook, when you talk to the coaching staff, they said, we sprinkled in some zone reads, but it wasn't something we really did a ton. Maybe down in the red zone on 3rd down. Now you're looking at an offense that implements it throughout the entire course of a drive because of his effectiveness running the football.
Now Lewerke has thrown for 2 scores today. Michigan State leading this one as we go into the 4th quarter from East Lansing. Thrilled as always you're with us for Fox College Football presented by Volkswagen. We start the 4th quarter 17-7 Michigan State. Well, this weekend, coaching staffs around the country will be wearing special arm patches in honor of the AFCA's Coach to Cure MD program. This is the 10th year coaches have joined together to raise funds and awareness for Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Fans are encouraged to donate by texting CURE to 50555 or coaches2curemd.org. Third and 1 coming up for Michigan State. For the Spartans, their last win here at home against Iowa, you have to go all the way back to 2008. 16-3 drag out affair.
Before Philly to the outside, I was loading the box for the run.
Looking that way. Davis quick to pick up the ball, or late to pick up the ball, I should say, as a flag comes in.
Holding. Offense number 65. 10 yards from the previous spot. 3rd down.
The captain, Brian Allen.
Enough hasn't been said about him. Won his play this year. He's really been phenomenal. I know it's called for holding there, but traditionally at guard, they move him to center. It's a tough position to deal with. Watch his left arm. See how it's tugging on the jersey? Good job by the officials catching it. A lot of times that stuff and the mix of that scrum goes unseen.
That makes it 3rd and 11.
Have to go back to Davis.
Looking over the middle, looking over towards Sokol, towards the boundary. 4th and long.
Puts a lot of pressure on Coughlin. I mean, this is a much longer field goal than what you were looking at previously.
You saw him line up earlier for a kick of over 50. This one for 48. His career long coming last week.
The biggest key, you're trying to make this a 2-touchdown game instead of a touchdown and a field goal.
No good. Missing from 48. We'll step aside. Michigan State leading 17-7. Fox College Football is sponsored by Buick, proud partner of the NCAA, and by King's Hawaiian Foods, irresistible since 1950. Well, on Thursday, Michigan State celebrated the past, the present, and the future of its athletic program through its annual Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Current football players like Tyler Higbee, Christian Jackson received the varsity Letterman jacket, while 5 former Spartans greats were inducted into their Hall of Fame.
It's a great feeling. Not many schools still give out the varsity Letterman's jacket. Obviously a big tradition. They had that in Notre Dame when I was there. I still remember you kind of get it, you put it on, feel proud of what you've been able to accomplish as a student athlete.
Still have it?
Oh yeah, of course. It's my mom's house.
Best place to put it. Straight drop back pressure right up the gut. Stanley Flush stays on his feet and is able to make something out of nothing for a first down. Vandenberg, his second catch.
I was waiting for Michigan State to bring this pressure. Watch Botch, he almost comes untouched. Wadley gets a piece, but it's Stanley. Look at the movement. Look at him pushing him with his left arm and still being able to keep his eyes downfield for the big game. Talk about quarterback play. That's what we want to see out of your starter right there.
Big young man, 265, 235. Short side of the field to Wadley, spinning loose. Looked like for a moment he might be able to pick up a few more, but he's met by Raekwon Williams. What do you make, Brady, of back-to-back weeks, for the most part, at least on the ground, Wadley being pretty bottled up?
I think the biggest key has been for this Iowa offensive line. You know, that they've been kind of, I don't want to say getting manhandled. Penn State did a good job disguising some of their looks, giving them some different things up front. I think Michigan State so far has done a good job getting penetration, not allowing the Iowa offensive line to get up to Bocce's level with the rest of the linebackers.
Wadley just 17 carries for 30 yards and a score. Dumps it off to Wadley. Makes 2-man miss. Trying to make it third. He's shy of the sticks.
Stanley's pass is complete to Wadley.
Talk to the coaching staff of Michigan State. Listen, he's a guy you got to gang tackle because he's going to make the first 1 or 2 guys miss. So you got to rally to the football and surround him when you're trying to bring down Wadley. Huge third down, and you got to wonder too, with 12 minutes and 30 seconds left, if they weren't able to pick this up, is this the potential of 4th down territory? Is it getting to that point in the game, or do you continue to play the field position battle?
Ball of the Spartans, 46. Easily split right. Vandenberg, top of the string. Enough for a first down. T.J. Hawkinson's been a busy guy. His third catch had 5 grabs all season coming into today.
Big number 38, you mentioned it, having a big day. Watch as he kind of releases downfield. He's going to get a quasi little rub almost by Easley. See how Easley stems inside, kind of creates some traffic that the Michigan defense has to fight through. That's what opens up Hawkinson for the conversion.
He added 20 pounds of muscle, mostly so he could prove that he could block. And today's been busy in the pass game also.
There's that pressure again. Look at Stanley handling the line of scrimmage, audibling the play.
It's Andrew Kelly Martin, the I-back. He gets the carry, and he is met immediately. A loss of the play.
the game within the game. High-level football played in the Big Ten. You've got the offense changing their play because they sense a blitz. Look at the defense. Look at Bocce. Look at the rest of the guys signaling. See, they check out of the blitz, and now all of a sudden they're back to playing sound fundamental defense. They're not bringing the pressure. Go back and play the run.
So loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Once again, Wadley out of the field. Smith-Marset in motion. Flag out. Stanley pressured. Able to hold on to it. Getting to about the original line of scrimmage. We wait on the penalty.
Offside. Defense, number 99. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Raekwon Williams, sophomore out of Chicago.
It really might save the drive. I mean, it's not that big of a gain of yards. You only get 5 yards, but now you put it in 2nd and much more manageable. Still got everything in the playbook. I feel like you have to necessarily throw the football here.
Ball at the 30.
Last time they ran this formation, they took a shot to Vandenberg.
Fry moving all over the place for the Spartans defense. Met immediately once again. Kelly Martin.
Well, was it a delay of games going to be the question as Stanley was trying to change the play?
Dylan Alexander, first-year starter, a former walk-on.
Before the snap, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
If you look to the lower right of the screen, you'll see the play clock. And Stanley's trying to get everything operated. Backfield's trying to get set with a change of play. And clearly you can see the ball's not snapped before the play clock gets to 0. Good job by the officials catching it. A lot of commotion down there. You got the Michigan State defense checking out of a blitz. You got the offense changing their play. It's good stuff.
We approach the 10-minute mark. Time beginning to run out for Iowa. They've got it 2nd and 12. Dumps it off underneath. Kelly Martin out of the backfield. Shy of the 1st down.
Just waiting for one of these boots or play action pass fakes. Been running the football pretty effectively so far on this drive. Got to wonder at some point. Get the ball to Hawkinson. Get the ball to Fan. A little play action pass or boot game.
The home touchdown today for the Hawkeyes. A run from Akram Wadley. Remember Stanley leading the Big Ten in touchdown passes. Easley, the man in motion. Throws behind Easley, incomplete. 4th and 2 coming up.
As you can see, again, they're setting a stack, allowing Easley to get a kind of a natural rub from Vandenberg as he releases upfield. That forces Lane to have to fight through traffic, but Stanley just doesn't put the football all the way outside, allowing Easley to run to it. Now the pressure is on Racinos.
Season long 44, this from 43. Some much needed points going through the uprights for Iowa. One possession game, 17-10. Michigan State under 10 minutes to go from East Lansing. Fox College Football presented by Volkswagen is sponsored by Element Electronics. Power on. Plenty of good catches here today from inside Spartan Stadium. Take a look at our game summary sponsored by Dockers. Khakis ready for anything. What else? What stands out the most to you, Brady?
Really the game that Felton Davis had. I mean, a career day for him. You look at Brian Lewerke and the job that he's done. Not turning over the football, even the running game. L.J. Scott, Holmes, everyone kind of involved. That was the struggle so far this season, and they've taken care of the football. But for Iowa, just keep hanging around. You got a couple stops on defense the last 2 drives. Can you step up big again and try to get the football back to your offense?
Now remember, these two teams have split their last 8 meetings, with 5 of those games decided by, guess what, 7 points or fewer. Welch on the return. Pass to 20. Hit hard, stays on his feet. Impressive. Andre Welch taking a hit and keeps on ticking. At about the 9-minute mark, we're coming right back to East Lansing. Well, time now to take a look at our Dickey's performance of the game. What a spectacular first half for Felton Davis, Brady.
A monster performance, stepping up big time, making big plays for Michigan State. Really hadn't seen him perform like this since Western Michigan. Targeted a number of times earlier this season in their matchup versus the Broncos, but now you're looking at a young man who's really stepped up and elevated himself amongst this Michigan State wide receiver group as the go-to guy.
Well, 12 catches over the first 3 games, has 8 today, and has matched the season total in touchdowns. London, the running back, gets to give. And push back. No surprise, Josie Jewell right there. Big Ten's leading tackler, his 12th tackle today. Had 16 last week against Penn State.
One injury of note. Number 11, cornerback Michael Ojemudia left the field due to injury. And if you're looking at the cornerback position for Iowa, they've been a bit thin, and now that puts number 8, true freshman Matt Hankins, out on the field.
Empty backfield for Lewerke. Quarterback draw. Makes a couple of men miss. Trying to get out towards the 35. Trying the first down. There is Matt Hankins to push him out. Pick him up 7 for Lewerke.
And this might be that time when you go right back to Matt Hankins. Try to work on that true freshman. Less experienced player. He's gotten a little bit of play time today because of that.
That run from Lewerke brings up 3rd and 2. In pocket to throw out, and a first down for the Spartans. Connecting for the first time today with Christian Jackson coming up. Kind of a breakout game last week against Notre Dame.
Had a pretty big game. Former high school quarterback, as you're going to see him run a little curl route. He's going to find that soft spot in the zone coverage. What was most impressive was really Ryan Lewerke. Look at him looking left, back to the middle, and he finds his 3rd or 4th progression in the read to get all the way across the field.
7 different receivers now for Lewerke. To London. And he is driven back by Josie Jewell. As everybody recovers from that hit, we'll go back to Greg Wolf for a game break.
Aaron, thanks. We have a final in Happy Valley. Heisman candidate Saquon Barkley doing a little bit of everything. Kickoff return for a touchdown. Here he throws for a touchdown. The nation's leader in all-purpose yards had 221 today. Penn State beats Indiana 45-14. Aaron, Brady, back to you.
Wow. I mean, if he's not trying to make a statement, I don't know what is at this point.
All kinds of time. Davis again beyond the sticks for a first down.
I love this. Everything Brian Lewerke is doing right now. The way he continues to keep working through his progression. What was even better about this play is he knew he was going to get hit in the mouth. You're eventually going to see number 96, Matt Nelson, get a hit on him at the end of the play right there. He stands in there tough, throws a strike, gets the first down, trying to close out this game.
9th catch for Davis. And let's keep in mind for Lewerke, just his 6th career start. How impressive is that ability to work through the progressions this young?
It's big time, especially considering he had 2 starts last year. The coaching staff wished he would have gotten more time.
Trying to keep his footing. Out to L.J. Scott. Saves that play a little bit. Minimal pickup.
Seems like every time there's something happening around the football, it's Josie Jewell. He once again forcing Lewerke to have to get the football out of his hand. Almost a dangerous pass, but Watch number 43. Once he realizes he's read and run, but once he sees that open alley, he ends up firing his gun, trying to take a shot on Lewerke, but forces the football out is the big key.
Named after the title character in Clint Eastwood's 1976 The Outlaw, Josie Wales. The pitch. Scott trying to hurdle.
Yeah, it's potential for a late hit. Fans sure wanted it. Let's check out L.J. Scott. He goes to hurdle Hooker, and he was clearly out of bounds.
Epinesa there to greet him. O.J. Moody back in the game now.
Yeah, and that's maybe the guy you're looking at going up against Felton Davis.
3rd and 8. Through the hands of Davis. We haven't said that much today.
Well, that ball was a little too far behind, and I actually think it was more Lewerke trying to protect his wide receiver. Safety was starting to bear down on that route. Take a look. You're going to see Davis on a slant. Look at Hooker. He's right there waiting for him, and as a quarterback, it's kind of built in. It's a natural instinct. You don't want to lead him into a big hit like that, especially Felton Davis, a guy who's played unbelievable so far today.
Jackson back to return. Under 5 minutes to go. Our partner boots it away. Jackson calling it for the fair catch. 4:39 left. This should surprise no one that we are in the final minutes, and this game is separated by a touchdown.
It's going to be a shootout down there in Lubbock between those two high-powered offenses, but it's the Iowa offense right now. It's got to get into gear through the air.
Long field ahead. Ball at the 7. Vandenberg past the 10.
You look at Nate Stanley's numbers against the blitz, because Michigan State just brought another cross-dog blitz. He struggled a little bit as far as his completion percentage, but 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's not forcing the football. He's done a very good job of handling the pressure. Very calm, very poised.
P.J. Hawkinson, by the way, the leading receiver so far for Iowa. Not many would have probably guessed that entering today. At the feet of his intended target, looking for fans.
And really credit number 2, Justin Lane. He was the cornerback outside on Smith-Marset. He actually washed down Smith-Marset so far, he ended up running into Noah Fant's route. Find yourselves in 3rd and 5. Too surprised that they didn't try to come back to him.
Now Marsette's the game breaker, just 1 catch in the first half for 31 yards.
Oh wow, someone's got to go over that side to be able to cover them. You got Fant right there, 2 tight ends. There you go.
Lone dead.
Charge timeout, Michigan State. They're first. It's to be a 30-second timeout.
Stops the clock at 3:59 to play. Michigan State wants to regroup a little bit.
Yeah, they didn't necessarily know how to line up to the formation that Iowa presented, that 2 tight end set. With 2 tight ends on one side, the slot set on the other with the 2 wide receivers. Clearly a miscommunication in how they wanted to match up. Michigan State is a team that on 3rd down is typically going to play some sort of man-to-man coverage as opposed to zone coverage. So because of that, it's important with who's covering who. And if I'm Iowa right now, you know, Smith-Marset left the field. I keep going back to it because he's the guy with the most speed and the most ability to get separation on key plays like this. And now he's coming back in for Iowa.
Stanley 15 for 28, 181 yards today. Sophomore making his 5th career start. trying to orchestrate a lengthy drive to tie this one up. 3rd and 5. Wadley comes back into the backfield. Underneath, and it's dropped. Right through the hands of Nick Easley, normally so sure-handed.
And he had plenty of green grass to pick up the first down and more. A well-designed play. They ran him on a shallow cross, and again, set kind of a pick. He's going to come down. You're going to see the tight end release up. That's going to create a natural little rub there as he's running through what actually was the zone coverage for Michigan State. Iowa's going to rely on their defense once again to try to get them a stop like they have this entire second half.
Fair catch. Maurice Nelson on to 39 yards. Spartans looking for their first home win against the Hawkeyes since 2008 as we go in depth to their second half possessions.
Look at the way the Iowa defense has stepped up, getting their end of the deal done. They're going to be tasked with it once more, and you got to wonder how aggressive defensive coordinator Phil Parker will be. Will bring some more pressure in hopes of keeping Michigan State out of field goal range.
Keep it on the ground, L.J. Scott. Right now, we'll once again check in with Greg Wolf.
Aaron, thanks. Florida State trying to avoid their first 0-3 start since Bobby Bowden's first year in Tallahassee 41 years ago. Final play of the game, Wake Forest needing a touchdown. John Wolford to Scotty Washington. It's broken up by Derwin James, and the Seminoles survive 26-19 over Wake Forest. Aaron, Brady, back to you.
Who would have thought Florida State this far into the season finally getting their first win?
No kidding.
As talented as a group as that is, lose your starting quarterback in DeAndre Francois, and all of a sudden, look at that ACC. It's pretty tough. A lot of parity.
Long time coming.
Iowa took a timeout to stop the clock. Clearly, they want to save as much time as possible.
You start looking at this one from the Michigan State perspective. Only one win in conference play last year versus Rutgers. They've got a chance to pick up their first conference win in their first conference game this season against a very good Iowa team. Bobble and a flick. Stewart spinning, and he is wrestled down. Parker Hesse. Not a lot of touches today for Stewart.
Yeah, well, anytime, too, you've got some sort of issue with the exchange and you're trying to run a play that involves some misdirection and timing, it's going to throw the whole thing off. And the Iowa defense smelled that out the entire time. Another timeout used by Iowa.
Take a look at the road ahead, sponsored by Coors Light. Big one coming up at number 8 Michigan. They won there 2 years ago. This is not an easy schedule the rest of the way for Michigan State. They play 9 teams this year who were in a bowl game last year.
Well, and just look at Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State. All those teams ranked within the top 11. I'm sure after this week, given the loss for USC, I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't some more movement up with those teams. So just a gauntlet you've got to go through here in the Big Ten East if you're a Michigan State fan.
One timeout left for the Hawkeyes.
Here's the hard part. I mean, you've got at some point to vote a couple players to Felton Davis. He's played that well this year. It looks like they're going to try to play man-to-man coverage.
On 3rd and 12. Lewerke stepping up. Can he pick up the 12 on his own? Yes, he can. First down, Spartans. That's a gain of 15.
Well, they played man-to-man coverage, but the only person they didn't have someone responsible for is the quarterback. You're going to watch these two safeties play in the deep halves. It's going to create all this room as everyone else is in man coverage. So if you're Iowa, you cannot let Lewerke out of the pocket for the big game. That's going to be too much green grass. Lewerke sees it, wisely gets the first down.
Longest run of the day from either side. Lewerke pacing all rushers today. To Scott, trying to thread his way through. Another timeout called. Hawkeyes out of timeouts. 2:52 left. We'll step aside.
Hey, I thought you were choosing the flute.
Everyone is doing flute.
Buick now has an SUV for that.
Where's your brother?
Hey, Mom, it's a tuba.
Buick Enclave, one of 3 luxury SUVs from the new Buick.
See your Buick dealer and get over $7,300 total value on this 2017 Buick Enclave leather.
Under 3 minutes to go. Spartans on top. Brady, our Duluth Trading Company hardest working player. Who do you have today?
That's that guy right there, number 35, Joe Bocci. 9 tackles and a sack. Also had a fumble recovery, which was going to negate points for Iowa. You'll remember Nate Stanley trying to push up in the pocket to throw. Ball slipped out. Bocci was there for the recovery. So a huge day for the Michigan State defense.
Bocci, who burned his red shirt last year because of injuries to his teammates, and he has come on in full force as a first-year starter this year. Spartans leading tackler. Having another big day. Some movement.
False start. Offense. Number 70. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It's Tyler Higbee, the roommate, left guard and roommate of quarterback Brian Lewerke. And you could hear him say kill, kill. And what that means is he's basically changing the direction of the play. You got 2 plays called. You start off with the first one. Iowa's showing a blitz. So Lewerke wisely tried to kill the play, but it takes a little extra time. Unfortunate with the communication too, and ended up throwing off his left guard and roommate.
Makes it 2nd and 13. Scott trying to wheel forward. We talk about the fumbling issues, the turnovers for the Spartans, and what today really highlights in a lot of ways, Brady, is that to this point at least, time running out. It's about 2.5 left.
It's not over yet.
It's not over yet. Not only have the Spartans not comped it up, but they have actually forced the turnovers, which is something that the coaching staff was really stressing this week.
They were stressing that and not trying to stress the offensive side of turning over the football. So there's a fine line. You coach it so much, it almost becomes kind of a thing, and you start playing a little bit differently. They don't want their guys to worry about that, but defensively, they've got to be pleased with the ability to get turnovers. That was something that they knew eventually would come. They just didn't know at what point in time. They coached the drills, they're trying to punch it out and working on all that, but it finally kind of hit home today.
Michigan State taking a timeout. Stops the clock at 2:02.
This is a big down. I mean, this really would seal the game, obviously, if Michigan State's able to convert on 3rd and 9. We saw Brian Lewerke the last time they were in a 3rd down scenario take off with his feet to pick up the 1st down. He's probably going to have to find a way of moving in the pocket to make a play here. But if not, Iowa's going to have one more opportunity. There's not going to be a ton of time left. You don't have timeouts, but in college football, the clock does stop with a gained 1st down. Then it will reset and start once again. So that's really the biggest key, I think, if you're an Iowa fan trying to hold on hope here to get the football back.
Last time Iowa was here in East Lansing, that was in 2012. A double overtime Iowa win, 1916. None of these games between these 2 programs last 8 times or so have been particularly pretty. They've all been close. Scott is met immediately for a loss.
Well, that was the all-out blitz that defensive coordinator Phil Parker likes to sprinkle in at times. A good job by the Iowa defense. Sometimes when you blitz, you can get out of your run gap responsibility. And clearly not here. Who was it? Once again, Josie Jewell.
That's his 15th tackle. Remember, he had 16 a week ago against Penn State at home. And for those efforts, named the Big Ten co-defensive player of the week.
Michigan State has one more timeout. With it being this close, you almost don't mind taking a delay of game penalty to back up a little bit so you have more room instead of wasting that last timeout in case you need it on this next drive. Looks like Mark D'Antonio might take the timeout.
Delay of game.
Just take the penalty.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
They just didn't throw the flag because I think he was communicating with the line judge.
Please reset the game clock to 1:11.
Not much time for an Iowa offense that has not been much of a vertical offense.
No, and they've got to find a way to get some of their biggest playmakers, the guys who are mismatches for the Michigan State defense, the ball. Smith-Marsette's only got 1 catch today, a big one at that, to help set up a score. But Noah Fant, only 1 catch as well. Got to get those guys going.
.111 left.
Looks like it's on Kari Willis. Someone jumped up front there.
False start. Offense, number 2. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Justin Lane.
D'Antonio 4-4 lifetime against Iowa. Ferentz 7-7 lifetime against Michigan State. Another flag. Jackson sent inside the end zone, taking it out. A lot of big hits. Under a minute left now. A punt of 52.
Well, and here's the kicker. There's a penalty on the play, but it's the time off the clock that you're most concerned with if you're Iowa.
Illegal formation. More than 4 in the backfield. Kicking team number 2. 5-yard penalty. Replay 4th down.
It was 1:11 when they snapped it. We're now looking at 15 seconds that were taken off the clock. I mean, that's an eternity when you think about a 2-minute drive and how much time you need to run some plays. And so now you're going to re-kick in hopes of getting a better return in field position, but it's going to take off more time on the clock.
Nine penalties last week for Michigan State as well. Let's try this again. Hartbarger ready to go. Inside the 20. To the 16. Well, how about some close finishes for this Iowa team so far this year? Let's go back to the 9th of September in the Hawkeye State, but versus Cyclones. Nate Stanley hitting Amir Smith-Marset, a 5-yard score in overtime for the win. Huge win for the Hawkeyes. And then, of course, last Saturday against number 4 Penn State, Trace McSorley completed the 7-yard strike. And Juwan Jackson, a walk-off win for the Nittany Lions in Iowa City.
So here's the situation. 45 seconds, no timeouts. The ball has got to get out of bounds if it's not a first down, and you've got to communicate efficiently to not waste any time at the line of scrimmage when the clock is running.
Stanley now feeling pressure. Flushed. Throws it away. Took some time for that to develop and turn into nothing.
And Michigan State, they're going to guard the sidelines. So they're going to force Iowa to take completions in the middle of the field, even if they do give them first downs, because they know it's going to take a lot of time off the clock for them to get upfield and get set up and communicate the next play.
Smith-Marset with the speed at the top of the screen. Ball is stripped. It's loose. And Stanley is able to belly flop on top of it. Demetrius Cooper forced it free.
Clock's running. They got to get back and communicate a play. This might be one of the final plays of this game.
Pass complete to Fant.
And that'll do it.
Michigan State, of course, a flag. It'd only be appropriate.
False start on the offense. That includes a 10-second runoff. The game is over.
Michigan State, their first conference game of the season, and they win it 17-10 over Iowa.
And correcting a lot of the mistakes that plagued them a week ago versus Notre Dame. Heading in the right direction as they've got that big matchup coming up versus the Wolverines in Ann Arbor next week. Wolverines coming off of a bye, so this is a huge momentum builder for the Spartans.
Now for Iowa, they came into this one 11-1 in their last 12 road games, so a rare road loss for Kirk Ferentz and the Hawkeyes. 17-10, the Spartans get the victory today and improve to 3-1 on the season. Hawkeyes fall to 3-2. We'll get you back to Los Angeles for more post-game coverage right after these messages.